So how do you usually study? I'm curious.
I don't.
Used to, okay? I'm pretty sure in the past tense you did.
I used to load up Netflix and then watch that, and then on the side I would just go over some games, pretty much. But basically, I would just mostly watch Netflix.
Professional.
Yeah, very professional, exactly. I mean, my study habits for chess were god awful.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, I cruise controlled on natural talent, and then
Mm-hmm.
when natural talent wasn't able to get me to where I wanted to be, right? Obviously, because chess is just one of those games where you have to memorize stuff at some point,
Mm-hmm.
where you have to study. I I think that was around when I was like 14. I had to do that because that's the year I won world championships. I got really pissed that year basically, so I actually studied openings for the world championship for the world youth chess championships. And then I tried a little bit more for the next couple of years, just learn a lot of theory and all that stuff. So I started basically when I was like studying when I was 14 maybe. And
Ah, so the secret is to piss you off somehow. Okay.
yeah, secrets that piss me off. And right now I'm actually really, really pissed because I'm not getting 2600 in bullet and I'm sad.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
First off, I think it'd be best if you would rotate the board.
Okay,
So
yeah,
that,
that would help a lot because we're playing black, of course.
yeah. So don't worry about the moves played so far. So I'm going to do something that can be okay. I wouldn't even say tedious, but that
Mm-hmm.
like let's just observe. So
Okay.
what do you see? Like it's your move. We're just basically airdropping you here,
Mm-hmm.
and just stray observations.
Okay,
I
straight observations. I could do that. I mean, black has zero control of the center currently. It's a hypermodern opening, as we know. So, okay, wait. I'll turn his volume down a little bit. Okay, 1 second. All right, so yeah, it's an this is just one of those openings where black has to hit back in the center later, and by giving up control of the center, obviously your pieces. I mean, I was never comfortable with playing positions where I don't have control of the center
Mhm,
because as like a Spanish player and a rouser player, like
mhm.
center is just always what we fight for, right? But
Yes.
here, I guess the Grunfeld can become really tactical at times. I don't think the exchange variation is tactical though. I'm pretty sure this is one of the ones that are less tactical. But you can play like knight c6 here. Your idea will always be to hit back in the center at some point.
Mhm.
The d pawn could potentially be weak if they play a move like d5. Probably play e6 and then knight c6, so they can't actually play d5. But yeah,
Mhm.
it's fairly open, so you want to keep bishops on the board.
Okay.
Um,
So let's keep it concrete. Actually, can you move pieces actually?
mm,
Or did I
do
have
you
I
see it?
Yeah, I see it. I see.
Okay, that's good.
Good. So, okay, let's not move it yet. Let's do a bit of blindfold training. That's also good for our audience, or
Okay.
for your audience.
Mm-hmm.
So, of course, you want to play knight c6, right?
Yes, of course.
Are we going to be afraid of e pawn push?
No, we will not.
Why not?
Because if they push the e pawn, then you can play e6, and then the d5 square will always be an outpost for you. For
Mm-hmm.
black, as in for black. Yeah.
Yeah, so for example, knight c6, e5. In fact, I would rather take on f3 first.
Okay, yeah,
Before
take on
anything.
3 first makes
Yeah,
sense.
takes. And you can, yeah, and e6 now, and then this will be a target forever.
Mm-hmm.
Um, how would you continue here? Just if white just does the normal stuff. Well, what do you think would be the plan
Um, sorry for black here.
for black? Yeah.
I put my knight to e7 and put knight to d5, or knight to well, I can't draw arrows properly.
Mm-hmm.
Knight to f5, because this can also attack the d4 pawn, and knight from f5 also stops bishop potentially going to h6. So I think knight to e7 and then choosing between d5 and f5 is very reasonable.
So one thing that you have to put it back in your brain. This is not a strategic opening.
Oh, it's not a strategic
No.
opening, so we're going full tactics.
So if you play the Grunfeld, you slash and burn.
Okay.
So forget about, oh, I'm going to control this square. No. You're not going to control any squares. You're going to take queens, you're going to take pawns, and you're going to checkmate.
Okay, so we probably can...
It doesn't mean that it can't be positionally sound, but usually you don't take time to like
do stuff like that? Okay, so
yeah.
might have to play f6 in order to open the f file and just attack e5. Then I'm just always gonna look for things to attack. I mean, queen d5, maybe rook d8.
Yeah, that's perfect.
Pawn.
Yeah.
Okay.
Queen d5, rook d8. So f6, by the way, is close. So I think this will be a good fit for you because f6, you already know its positionally doesn't look too good, but it makes a lot of sense here, right?
Yes, it does.
Because you undermine the e5 pawn, and oh, is it our move? Yeah. Why doesn't? Oh, okay. That's not. Man, I can't. Oh my god. Pago me.
Pago.
Anyway, so bishop e2, f6, and you can undermine the d and e pawns. And even after takes, queen takes f6, yes, you have a weakness, but you're looking for maximum activity for the bishop. So what really the essence of the Grunfeld is to activate that bishop. If you can achieve that, most of the time you'll have counterplay even if you're worse.
Okay, that makes sense, yeah.
So, yeah. f6, however, is still more of the double-edged moves. You are weakening the king.
So these are both lines, like queen d5 and f6 are both lines here.
But I would rather prefer queen d5, rook d8, and immediately attack the d pawn. All right, that's good. So e5 is not something we're afraid of. So what would we consider mostly the main move here for white? As someone who doesn't really know what's going on yet.
Probably bishop e2. Bishop e2 looks very normal for me. Maybe bishop to b5 as well, for more aggressive.
So the Grunfeld is very concrete.
Okay.
So when you play knight c6, you've got to start counting like crazy what's going on.
Right, that totally makes sense. I mean, I don't think d5 is a realistic move because of bishop takes f3.
Well, that's true, but after bishop e2, can't I just take him and the pawn?
Oh, that's true, yeah, for sure. Okay, that's just...
So in this sense, this is the good part, especially in like quicker time control games, that you're immediately setting up threats. So d5 is the main move. Bishop f3, correct. Very good. G takes. And now where we're getting with the knight?
e5.
Knight e5, bishop e2. So strategically, who do you think is better?
I like white's position more here.
So you will have to look for tactical.
f5.
F5 is very interesting, and that's very much in the spirit. Okay, so f5 is an idea. Let's look for another move as well. I'm not saying it's bad.
Okay, so could also play e6 maybe.
With the idea.
Just opening up the queen for the king side because white's king is kind of in the center of the board. Maybe there's also... Well, I don't really like rook c8 because I think this endgame is going to be worse for me.
So, like, sometimes we can even survive endgames in the Grunfeld, but you're right. Your opponent has the bishop pair, and in the endgame, that can get very nasty.
Yeah, and also a7 is just unprotected right now. I mean, if I played rook c8, it would just be unprotected. Yeah, so I don't really want to stop off the major pieces.
Yeah, so here, takes. So you did just some puzzle rush. It's time for you to do a bit more of that.
There's knight takes f3 and bishop to c3.
Of course.
Yeah.
And you're winning immediately.
Okay. So you can't take. But I still wouldn't like want to play that endgame position for black.
Yeah, no, I think you're right. I mean, you're thinking in the right direction. So can this knight wreak havoc on the king side alone?
No, it can't.
Okay. So
So
how
maybe
can
queen
we?
to d7 then, just so we can play queen to h3. I mean, regardless of whether or not he castles, queen to h3 is a threat because we are threatening to take on f3.
Yeah. So queen d7 is the best move, right? Correct.
Okay, that makes sense.
So I looked up this exact position. I've seen a grandmaster play f5, which is very interesting. Probably not the best because for some reason, objectively, this is better for white. But you can tell that these pawns are still weak, and not that you don't get chances here to fight. And in fact, the reason I got very attracted to the Grunfeld is because of the interview of Kasparov. Kasparov used to play the same lines that you did, like the Tartakover and these classical Queen's Gambits. And then he said, I think, I don't even know if he said or somebody told him, well, you can play the Grunfeld, and even if you go down kicking and screaming.
Right. That makes sense.
So f5 I very much like, and this is a typical way of playing. We're gonna take a look at one of my games where I do this exactly the same thing. So queen d7 was played. So if I castle, you have queen h3.
Yes.
And already, even though you don't have the center, you have lots of play against that king. In fact, if I go something like queen d1, you again have some very nice.
I mean, there's just knight takes f3 and then bishop to e5.
Yeah, I mean, it's very
whoops,
simple.
I
But
can't click.
not a problem. Unfortunately, it does not win, sadly. There's rook e1.
Oh, but there's
But
a
it's,
perpetual.
yeah, but it's nice to have a position like this with black.
Yeah. I mean, you have perpetual at the very least. So.
Yeah.
makes sense.
Also, you don't have to go that way. So here white played bishop h6.
Wait, here what?
Do you see the position?
Yeah, bishop h6, yeah.
Okay. First thoughts.
Okay, queen h3 is still my first thought.
Mm-hmm.
Oh wait, what about?
Yeah, feel free to think out loud.
Knight
It's
takes...
actually even.
Okay, this knight takes f3, bishop takes f3, queen h3 too.
Okay.
Which looks a lot cool because if bishop takes g7, then we have queen takes f3, bishop takes f8, queen takes h1, and then if king to e2, we have queen takes e4, and then you can still take back the bishop on f8.
Can you rotate the move order?
Yes, I can, because if queen h3, bishop takes g7, then we still have knight takes f3. Okay, so the difference between that is if I go knight takes f3 first, the reason that would not work is... Wait, I'm just trying to understand why the move order would not work. Okay, knight takes f3, obviously bishop takes f3, queen h3, and then there would be...
So, I also love like playing the most aggressive moves like you do. But let's channel a bit of Kamsky here. Which is the safer one?
Which is the, sorry, what?
The safer one.
Queen h3, of course, but...
Yeah.
I hate being safe! Okay. No, I don't actually hate being safe. No, you're right. No, queen h3 is definitely the way to go here. Yeah.
Yeah, like I love, like this is very like the show move. Takes.
For sure.
You take queen h3, I'm threatening both, look at me. But it feels so awful when we miscalculate and we were winning.
For sure, yeah. Is there a move here that... Oh, wait, what if... Is there a move here where white's winning?
I don't think so, no.
Okay,
I think
but it's still
correct.
more accurate to go queen h3. No, I understand that.
Yeah. And takes, bishop f3 takes, castles, which some people don't know is legal.
Right, I keep forgetting about that. It's so weird. Okay, well, I mean, there's...
Did that happen to you?
Yeah, I forgot about castle. I forgot you can just castle here. So probably just king takes g7 here.
I think I had one over the board game once when I castled this way and my opponent was complaining, is this even legal?
Yeah, I mean, I always forget about that, but yeah, he can of course castle. So I mean, this position is still pretty decent for black. But queen c3 check here.
I mean, you're up a pawn, no? We don't mind.
Oh, that's true.
queen
Yeah, we're up a pawn, so we're okay with playing the rook endgame, of course.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, that
Yeah.
makes sense.
Yeah, so this is kind of the first part that I wanted to show. And I think, I don't know, like, how do you feel so far?
I mean, I definitely want to learn this just because I'm tired of playing my usual openings. I mean, I'm literally just bored. Not bored, but like I'm tired of being a one trick, you know?
Okay.
Uh-huh.
So,
like I've been playing the Nimzo and Queen's Gambit for my entire life. I love playing the Spanish, don't get me wrong, but I don't love playing the Nimzo and Queen's Gambit. So
yeah, I mean,
it's very uninspiring to play an opening that looks the same every single position. Like I don't get a choice. Like in the Spanish, I have a choice of 10 different Spanish lines I can play as black. But when I play the Nimzo or the Queen's Gambit, it looks the goddamn same every single time I play them. So
yeah. So you will get some variety because there are plenty of ways of playing against the Grunfeld, but as the Grunfeld player, you always have the same goal of just blasting open the center. And so far, honestly, but okay, we're still in the beginning. I kind of feel that the direction is good for you. Like you naturally tend to make attacking moves.
Okay.
All right. So
active play styles.
Yes. So that means, so let's now go from the beginning. So it is d4, c4. Actually, it's good if you make the first move just so you get that into your memory.
For sure. I need to buy a non-troll chess set so that I can actually make the moves myself. Because my chess set, I don't know if you've seen my chess.
You have a Lord of the Rings chess set?
No. My chess set wobbles. It literally wobbles. Like the pieces shake because it's like one of those artistic chess sets that you put in your living room to flex. But like I got it as my only chess set because I'm just like, I wanted this chess set for such a long time. Anyways, I don't have a normal chess set is basically the bottom line, and playing chess on it is very awkward sometimes.
Okay, so please play the first moves.
Okay, knight c3, d5, e takes. I mean, c takes. Sorry. Wait, they don't have to take, right? Like, what if they just play e3?
They don't. But this is an important line for you to learn.
Oh, thank you, Conqueror. Okay.
They have a couple of other moves, but I think you're going to see this one a lot.
All right.
So it's very important.
Okay.
Yeah, go ahead. Continue.
Nothing.
Yeah, just continue making the moves till bishop d4.
Okay, c takes d5, knight takes d5, e4, knight takes c3, here, bishop e3, c5.
Okay. So one thing that's very important, even if you play bullet chess, spend a couple of seconds of making sure you don't pre-move bishop g7 here.
Because if you play bishop g7 here, it's just the king's Indian, right?
Yeah, it's bishop g7, e4,
I can play the king's Indian too. Like, it's not really a big problem. I actually play the king's Indian. Oh my god, I've been wanting to try out so many different new openings because I'm just so bored. I don't even know what's happening. It got into me these days.
I mean, actually, boredom is a good thing because then we do some other stuff.
Exactly. I think the boredom comes from having played the same position like for 8 months now, and then I've come to the realization that even I can get tired of playing the same opening over and over again. Yes, it's not only this. I still love playing the Spanish.
So one of the things that I do think that you should do after we're kind of done with a couple of these things with the Grunfeld is that you get either you play the viewers a bit or practice. Because it's mostly the practice that needs to be done. Okay, so d5 takes, e4 takes, and I think here, I mean, there are other ways of playing this position, but I think you should play it this way, the bishop, like takes, bishop g4.
Wait, you take on d4 first, right? Or
no? It actually doesn't matter.
Okay, so this is one of the cases it doesn't matter. Got it. I mean, if they take c5, it's you go queen a5.
So yeah, or d5 you can go e6. And you don't care about the pawn, the king is still in the middle.
Right, of course.
They take rook e8, and you're going to have a big attack.
Mm-hmm.
And even if you lose the pawn, you're just gonna run it down on the c file.
All right, I can do that. I mean, if they play d takes e6 here, what happens? Not here,
Yeah,
not here.
what? Yeah.
I mean, here I assume you just take.
No, you don't take with the
You
f.
don't
Well,
take. Oh, okay.
you can take with the f pawn, but usually you want to keep the structure
Right.
intact.
So you can
if
take with the bishop.
possible. You just take it the bishop.
And this endgame is
Oh,
okay.
this is
I mean, this
that's
pawn is
fine.
just unprotected. Yeah, my bad, my bad.
And even if they defend, this is just wonderful for you
Okay.
because these bishops are very strong.
Mm-hmm.
So bishop g4. There is this funky little move, knight g5. So again, I'm gonna airdrop you here. You're going to try to find the moves. Wait, let me check if I'm giving you the right one. Meanwhile, you can think about it.
This move doesn't really inspire anything in me. Like, it doesn't do anything, right?
Yeah, knight g5. Knight g5 is like, who I'm so smart kind of move. Yo, you're never gonna take my knight.
It doesn't really do shit though. So can I just go
Yeah,
knight c6?
exactly. Knight what?
Knight c6.
Mm-hmm. Well, if you go knight c6, what if I go d5?
I mean, I would just go knight e5, but like, I guess it's a bit awkward.
So knight e5, then I have h3. So you still will have to be careful not to trap your knight.
Okay. Well, I mean, I could just take on d4 first then and play knight c6.
Uh-huh, yes.
Okay.
Let me see, because I might be... Am I giving the right position? Yes, okay, so it's the right position.
Right.
Good. So yes. So this is the difference. You take... So sometimes if you're just unsure, you can just take on d4 immediately. You don't have to worry about it and say, I don't care, I'm just gonna take on d4. So d4 is good, takes. If you go knight c6 now, d5, knight e5, the only worry I have is you don't want to trap your knight like that.
That's true, for sure, yeah.
And
putting bishop on c would be way too awkward. So just take on... I mean, we're supposed to take on d4 at some point anyways, so...
Yeah.
Okay, this is very important to remember.
Yeah, so that's an important part of that deal. And so the other thing with the Grunfeld, sometimes you retreat, but it's temporary. So eventually you're going to just go at it. So c takes, knight c6, and now there's no d5 because the rook is hanging. h3, the bishop is hanging. So we won't go back to c8. I mean, that would be ridiculous. We're gonna go back here. Knight f3. And all right, this is actually an important moment. What moves would you think about? You have a couple of ways of playing.
Here I would think about maybe...
By the way, talking about thinking of moves, do you use the candidates method?
Yeah, I do, of course.
Okay.
Yeah, so I mean, my first thoughts are e5 and f5. I'm also looking at a5. I'm also looking at e6 and rook c8. So a5 is a bit of a troll move. I don't think I'm gonna play that, so I'll just not. But rook c8 is obviously a developing move. I like that. I think if I play e5, he's gonna play d5, so I don't really like that. If I play f5,
why not?
I mean, if e5, then d5, and he has a passed pawn that's protected, and I've blocked off my dark squared bishop, so that kind of sucks. And trying to set up f5 is something that could totally happen. Like, that would be the point. But he has bishop d3, and then even if I take on e4, he just takes back with the bishop, and my bishop is still stuck.
Yeah.
So I don't like e5.
So what would you play?
I think then that leaves me with either e6 or f5. I mean,
what happened to? Okay, good.
Oh, I mean with f5, it's gonna play e5 probably, and I can play e6 in that case, which But to stop through d5. I mean, he can still play
Mhm.
d5 though. That's probably the annoying part. Wait, no, he can't because I can just take on e5. Never mind.
So
So.
f5, e5. Doesn't this bishop feel a little sag in that case?
Oh yeah, the bishop still feels sag, I guess. I was thinking e6, then bishop f8, and comes out that way, but I guess that's a little too awkward. So
Yeah,
probably let's
so
just go with e6.
okay. By the way, what happened with the rook c8 move you were thinking about?
Oh, I just forgot about it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I guess we can just play rook c8 too.
Yeah. I
I mean,
think
rook
wasn't
c8
that
too. Okay, I like rook c8 actually because you just don't commit. There's no reason to commit. Fucking commitment sucks, sass. So you just play rook c8 to not commit.
the no commitment rook c8?
Dude, fucking, I actually swear to God, commitment in every single situation, whether it's your life or in chess, just sucks. So it's just like I'm gonna make non-committal things. So rook c8, it's a perfect way to go.
I'd love to pogo here, but you're right.
I mean, I'm not wrong. Like everybody in chat knows, like when has commitment ever worked out for you, man? Like responsibility is actually just not it.
And actually, I realized in chess, like anytime you can keep the tension and not decide, that is
Exactly.
most of the time the best move.
Exactly. It's sometimes like not being in a relationship is great because you can like just flirt and that's more fun, you know? Like it's literally life is literally just chess lessons, guys. It's literally like chess, it can just be applied to everything in life.
Call this toll-free number now.
Yeah.
The rook c8 is fantastic. Because of your aforementioned reasons, plus non-commitment.
Exactly.
Rook c8, and you say, hey, I might play here, I may play there. You decide whatever I feel with this move. There is one more move that you might be kind of hating on, but in fact, even the endgame is not tragic for you. And the reason this endgame is not so tragic is something that I thought that I'll explain, but you'll explain it instead of me.
Okay, well, this endgame's not totally tragic because I have a pawn majority on the queen side, so I have potential to create a pass pawn. I mean, he can potentially get a central pass pawn, but I don't think it's such a big deal. I can just play like e6 and bishop c6, and I got bishops on long diagonals, and I can just like...
Yeah.
I also have like fast access to the C file. I'm castled. I have better development than he does because he still has 2 moves to finish developing, so it's not that bad.
No, it's not that bad at all. And in fact, this is what Peter Fiddler played like for 20 years.
Oh, okay.
Like, this is something that if this is bad, then Peter's Fiddler is Sag. So, and Peter's Fiddler is a Chad, so he's never Sag.
Yeah, exactly. He's that absolute Chad.
And now you can go rook f(c)8 and knight c4. Now, there is one more thing that I want to mention, and I'm going to mention this one because of my personal experience. Normally, you get the a rook to c8, but once it's the endgame, you can use the other one.
Right, because I mean, the rook on a8 is potentially going to create a pass pawn on like a file, right? So there's no reason to...
You can also bring your king in too.
That makes sense.
And also that sometimes your rook is useful defending the f7 pawn. Now that doesn't look like a big deal here, and it's not.
Yeah, it's definitely not a big deal here.
But in many of your Grunfeld games, that might be an important tempo when you have to go back.
Yeah, I mean, I definitely think that playing rook c8, like this is one of those times when you don't really want rooks on d8 and c8 in the center of the board. You want rooks on like c8 and potentially like b8 or just a8 because you're gonna push pawns on the queen side, not the middle of the board. So
yeah, you can go b5 knight c4 and sort of like that. Anyways, rook c8 correct. And now we're actually following a game between Ding Liren and Li Chao.
Oh, let's go. 2 Chinese super GMs.
I thought you were gonna say 2 Chinese Chads.
Oh, I have learned. Okay, super chats.
Super chats.
There we go.
So rook b1. Rook b1 is actually a very nice move indeed. So there's 2 moves that they like playing with white: rook c1 and rook b1, both to sort of avoid the scope of this bishop. So again, I'm gonna do what I did so far. Let's observe, what did you achieve so far as black, and what did white achieve?
Okay. I mean, White has achieved center. He's achieved a little bit of development. He's still not castle, but
Mm-hmm. And that's actually a
I
very important point.
yeah, I mean, I don't like Rook B1 just because like just delaying castle feels so wrong to me. You're just setting yourself up for failure if you don't castle.
Don't worry about your opponents. It's good that they want to get checkmated.
True, exactly true. I mean, I don't give a fuck about them anyways. It's more like when I coach people and they don't castle, I'm like, please castle. But in this position, I think what I would want to do is open up my. Opening up my dark sword bishop is looking pretty difficult right now. But of course, that's always something I want to do.
No, when you play the Grunfeld, you must be a dreamer.
Must be a dreamer. Okay.
Yeah. So Nemo, stay a dreamer.
Stay a dreamer. All right. Well, in that case, I mean, obviously the first move I'm looking at is e5 again, but there's still d5 here.
Okay, e5, d5. Okay.
Yeah, I still have Blade coaching PTSD from PogChamps too. Holy crap. I had to, no amount of yelling at him over a fucking call would get him to castle, so I literally had to yell at him in person. Like, literally, that's what it took for him to castle. I literally, like, fucking just... Oh my god, okay. Anyways, here, I still do want to... I do somehow want to open up my center. I don't know how. I'm trying to think.
So what are you thinking? Think out loud. That's great.
Alright. Yeah, pretty much best. That's what I did. Okay, well, I kind of want to play knight a5 and maybe go knight to c4. Knight a5 also, you know, protects the b7 pawn. So, dobranoc. And like, it just opens up my rook as well, so that's a good potential. I can maybe play bishop a4 and then rook to c2, but that's once again dreaming. But you said Grunfeld is a bit of a creative opening, so I kind of like that.
So right now, if I follow you correctly, you're at knight a5, right?
Yeah, I'm at knight a5. Yes. Also, my camera is so crooked today. Sorry, give me a second. I'm gonna fix this. Like, it's just slanted. Hello, guys. Okay, well, this is not working. I do more slanted. No? Okay, this is fine. Whatever. I give up.
So sometimes also you've got to be radical in this opening. And so knight a5 is a decent move. Only issue I have with it, it's a little slow. And white is going to scoot over to g1 in 2 moves. So let's stop them from scooting very quickly.
Okay. Stop him from scooting. Well,
so you had knight
a5.
Yeah. So e5, knight a5, e5. F5 we talked about is not really good.
Yeah, of e5. So maybe just e5 then here?
e5 and if d5?
We can play knight d4.
And
the idea behind knight takes d4, e takes d4, bishop takes d4, we have rook e8, and his king's still in the middle of the board, so I can put pressure on e4.
Yes, and that was played.
Okay.
Correct. So, here, if white would get bishop e2 castles, white is probably just better. It's not that we're not in the game, but it's annoying. So he said, no.
Wait, why if they just don't play rook b1 then? Because rook b1 doesn't look that good.
Well, in this sense, they can go bishop e2 maybe. But then again, you can do knight a5, knight a4.
Okay.
Which is I don't know how big of a bishop pair fan are you, but
my Russian coach told me bishop pairs are absolutely Chad. But my brain is like, I don't really care that much. I mean, I definitely care, but like, I don't care that much. It's not like what I prioritize over everything else, you know? Like,
so it doesn't, like, even if you don't care, you're fine because you have the bishops. This is one way of playing, and again, we can do this fiddler and go queen a5, and you're fine.
Mm-hmm.
And again, they can't castle because that would just drop a pawn.
Right. Okay. Center pawn.
So, and in fact, this is why this can be fun with like quick games, because you're the one setting up the threats.
Mm-hmm.
Your opponent will be constantly defending, and you'll be the one setting up those ideas.
Mm-hmm.
And that's why queen a5 is pretty good here. Now, e5 though, in this game, so rook b1, e5, this is an exception.
Mm-hmm.
So you're right, whenever you said earlier on that e5, d5, I don't like that structure, you're correct. But however, the king is in the middle, and white is being like dilly-dallying a lot.
Okay.
So now you get to play this way.
Yes.
I
see.
There. So here Ding got a little scared, and that shows how dangerous this is. So he took bishop d3, and by now you can tell that black is doing great. You've got the bishops, you've got a potentially strong d-pawn, and as you said, if knight d4 takes, bishop takes d4, rook e8. And this is actually the typical Grunfeld position you get. You sacrifice a pawn, sometimes incorrectly. Here actually it's correct. Like if takes, then you can take here first. Just completely fine. And you don't really have to worry about these d-pawns. This bishop, or sometimes if you get the chances a bishop is not in the way. Okay, so let me show you. Not just speak hypothetically. Let's say rook d1, queen f6, a3. Oftentimes, if you get the chance, you want to block it with the queen. And then you're going to do the slow munching with rook e5 and rook c5.
Got it.
But even if that doesn't happen, even if they push the pawn till d6, if you have a knight on d7 or a bishop on d7, you're just chilling.
Got it.
Okay. And here, of course, if they have to play f3, your attack must be pretty good.
Yeah.
In fact, let's say f3. How would you continue here?
There is rook. Wait. Order matters.
Yeah, order matters. Yes. And yeah, if talking about orders,
rook takes. No, wait. No. Queen h4. Queen h4 check. Queen h4 check.
Queen h4, and if I go bishop f2.
Rook takes e4. Oh wait, but then there's bishop to e2. The thing is, if you just play rook takes e4 and f takes e4, there's queen h4, then it's just king to d1. But there's also bishop to h4 after that. Okay, wait, I gotta think a little.
Go ahead. No problem. By the way, as you're thinking, put your task in a little bit. Like when you play like 30 seconds chess, how quick are you?
30 seconds chess? I'm pretty fast.
So that's why I'm thinking that a lot of times in the opening, I see you move really fast. And then you get into trouble. You would outplay your opponent, but your position is just not good already.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, that's the way I play my classical games too. I never, like I said, right? I hate studying. Well, I don't hate studying. I'm just really bad at openings. I've never been good at openings. And that's something that like I've come to realize I have to change now, especially now, because to improve my bullet games, if I learn openings better, then I don't have to spend so much time in the middle game. But I think my middle game is kind of unparalleled, honestly. Like, I think my middle games are really good. I just need to be in a situation where my position doesn't completely suck ass, you know? Like, most of the time, my positions are so bad, I can still outplay them in the middle game. But, like, if I come into the middle game already with a decent position, you know, I could win so much more games.
I think you're correct that you are a very, very good practical player. But sometimes I feel that you rush. Okay, I mean, this sounds actually a little bit dumb on my part, because Of course, we rush things that we don't like.
Yeah, of course, yeah. I always avoid the studying openings because I don't like it. But now I am forcing myself to because I want 2600 in bullet. Yes.
Yeah. Anyways, let's go back to this one. You're right. Let's take a little time, and also just give me your free-flowing thoughts. So you talked about rook e4. Now, what you think about?
Yes, rook takes e4, so I was thinking f takes e4, queen h4. In which case, so king e2 and king e2 obviously doesn't work because of queen takes e4. Bishop f2 doesn't work with queen takes e4. Queen f2 also doesn't work with queen takes e4. So we are left with king to d1. And then if king to d1, then you got bishop to a4. So if bishop a4, then king to e2, or there's rook b3. But if rook b3 first, which is obviously the more critical move, we can play bishop takes b3 with a check. So a takes b3, then you got bishop to h6, because that threatens potentially rook to c8. So if they play bishop to e3 in that situation, then you can... Wait, let me think here.
I think you calculate way too long lines.
Oh.
It's not bad that you calculate a lot. But sometimes it's just like you go so deep.
I guess, yeah. It's so easy for me to calculate long lines. Like, it's just so automatic for me to do so. So I just do it. Maybe this also is queen takes e4, you know?
Yeah, that's the thing. Like, like
queen takes e4 is so simple, but I just get caught on analyzing a line because it's just like so simple for me to do so. Like, it's yeah.
Yeah, I mean that's kind of the thing that like you could get into a variation, say it's good, but sometimes you might be taking a lot of risk.
Yeah.
Like I feel that. Do you do this? I'm just curious. That you calculate rook e4 takes check here, bishop a4, and you don't stop. Like you play rook
I just
e4.
calculate the end. It's like 5 seconds more to calculate to the end, and then I get stuck on the end, and then I want to force that line to work. This is why I used to get in so much time trouble when I was younger, because I could calculate like an ungodly amount, but it's not always a plus. It's not always a plus. It's actually very often detrimental to your chess because you end up taking so much time when the move is literally right there ahead of you.
Yeah, because I feel like it's abundantly clear that the move is good.
Yeah, for sure.
So and in fact,
I would never make the move. I would never make this move. Well, I mean, nowadays it's different because I play bullet, right? Now it's gotten a lot better. But when I was doing competitive, I would never make a move like rook takes e4 until I've found the win. And this would be why I would get in so much time trouble.
Yeah, so a lot of times, like I used to, like when I was a younger player, I would do the exact same thing. I would calculate everything with everything and try to calculate all the lines.
Yeah.
But then I realized, if I play rook e4 takes queen h4, yes, you may put king d1 on the first line, but your opponent is going to play bishop f2 and they're going to resign after queen e4.
Yeah, for sure.
And I feel that sometimes you're actually, especially in 1 minute chess, wasting time, like, let's say, 10-15 seconds till you make sure that this is playable.
Yeah, it's not worth it. You make it and you do. The thing I've realized about 1 minute chess too is it's a bit like poker. Like, what's the expected value of this move, right? The thing is, if you use that much time and you just end up losing, okay, whatever, you resign, you go next. Done. You can win your next game too, right? Like you're wasting time by not making this move fast, not only in the game but also for your entire like run. I mean, it doesn't matter because I'm not like setting a limit on myself for bullet games, but like obviously if I was, I've just come to the conclusion that it's better to just play the move that's intuitive because it's super like it just doesn't make sense to think that much in a bullet game for sure.
And I mean, actually, I'm gonna check it. I'm curious. curious. So let's just do this. See the engine?
I don't see an engine, but
Oh, you don't.
yeah.
Can you turn on the lines?
I can't because you got the analysis. You have
Oh,
a. It doesn't matter though. It's fine. I'm
oh, I
gonna
can
guess
give
this
you.
is.
I can give you the
Oh,
ownership.
okay, sure. Wait, I want to guess the evaluation of difference between. Wait, no, I don't even know. Is Queen H4 Rook takes E4 better? This is always curious though. Queen H4 is better. Oh.
No, it's not.
It's not?
I think Rook E4, like it's the same thing actually.
Oh, okay.
And this is the thing. This helped my chess a lot.
Mm-hmm.
I was wondering if my chess decisions are good or bad,
Mm-hmm.
and it turned out it's like one or two of the computer's choice, or three, and that means for me it's better to follow my intuition.
Right.
Because I can trust it. If it would be like terrible, I should think rather.
Mm-hmm.
But I think it's the same thing with you, that you should just trust it and just play it.
For sure. Sometimes I think it's just Rook takes D4. I would definitely play Rook takes D4 here. Engine says Queen H4 check, but it's such a specific line that I would have never calculated.
But
I would have never seen Queen H4 bishop takes F3, Rook takes D4. I'd assume my opponent would play bishop E2, you know?
Yeah.
So.
Now I think like a Queen H4, Rook E4 is very concrete and it's hard to find.
Mm-hmm.
Also, if you go back, I think Rook C8 was the first choice. Like if you go back to the Knight F3 move on move 13.
Okay.
That Rook C8 was the main move.
It's showing me Queen A5 right now. But okay, now Rook C8's coming up. Yeah, Queen A5, Rook C8. I mean, all the evaluations are so
Fiddler
similar,
is going down and Nemo is going up.
Yeah.
So, I feel that a lot of times, if your intuition is good, stop yourself from overthinking.
Mm-hmm.
So, like, I felt when we were looking at this position, you said Rook C8 without hesitation.
Mm-hmm.
And then you said, okay, maybe F5 or E5, and it actually got worse, not better.
Right.
I don't know if you agree with
I definitely agree. I definitely think the less I think, the better my intuition just like autopiloting for me is so much better. Like there's an optimal amount of autopiloting and just like calculating too much.
Yeah, I mean, of course. Like, for example, can you give the ownership back for a second?
Yes, I can do that. Yeah, intuition is usually always right.
So, what is important is that, of course, when you get into the position of Rook B1, E5 here, Rook E8, F3, here you're going to calculate a little bit at least. You can't just give up your Rook for nothing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, for sure.
But if it has to do with Rook C8, am I going to bring that Rook into the game or make another decision? You can just blitz it out, especially as I think that you can trust your intuition.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I definitely think that my intuition, I mean, obviously for bullet too, intuition is so much more important.
Yeah. Okay, so, in fact, the game from there on isn't that interesting. But I think this was the most important part here of knowing that, hey, Rook C8, bringing the Rook in. Either you can go Queen A5 if you're in an endgame mood. But I don't really think you're most of the time in an endgame mood.
I'm never in an endgame mood.
And you can go E5, D5, Knight D4. So all in all, I think that this is the line you should be playing. Bishop G4.
Okay.
So make sure you go C5 and the Bishop G4 way of playing. With the CD, Knight C6. So the other line was Rook B1 here. Rook B1, let me promote that. Rook B1. Okay, so again an important moment. How would you react to this one?
Here I would.
Also, all your candidates' moves, I'm curious about those as well.
Okay.
Meanwhile, chat can also give some candidates move that's also completely fine.
Yeah, I mean, chat, guys, candidate moves? Anybody thinking about the position, actually? Also keep the chat in English, okay? If you guys want to talk in Polish, we have a Polish channel on Discord. Okay, so I mean here b6 is a pretty reasonable move in my opinion. Well actually no, b6 I don't really, what?
Okay, so
No, it's not that bad. b6 is a candidate move. C
I'll
takes
give you a
d4.
risky. Sorry to interrupt.
Go ahead.
I'll give a risky example. What would Irelia do in this position?
What would Irelia do in this position? Irelia?
Would she play b6 here?
No, she would not. She would definitely not play
What?
b6.
Irelia.
She's not a b6. She would play c takes d4 or knight c6. I think c takes d4 is a lot better as usual. And then I'll play knight c6.
Yes.
Yep.
You play like Irelia, and that's what you're supposed to do.
Let's go.
Takes knight c6, and that's kind of the I don't care at all.
Yeah.
I mean, I could say something harsher, but I won't. You don't care about the b pawn.
Yeah.
And even if they take, you can take on d4, and once you take the d pawn, you're always at least equal. You're never worse after that. D5. Of course, knight e5. Bishop e2. And here again, you have a choice.
Okay.
We've seen a similar position, but the rook was on c1. So, do you think we have an extra option in this case?
Well, I mean, it's queens to c8. But I don't know if that like makes a big difference. I mean, I definitely remember wanting to put our queen on h3 last time, so we played queen to d7.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Go ahead.
No, just queen c8, I guess, would also potentially.
In fact, this was a Vidit game, so Vidit played queen c8. And it's good to be kind of tricky. Like, you still have these neat little tactical tricks.
Yeah, for sure.
You never know if someone doesn't fall for this trick.
Yeah, exactly. Especially in bullet. This is remember, guys, this is what we're training for. Bullet.
Yeah. So so there's a couple of things. Of course, as you mentioned, you want to go for this queen h3 idea, but you're also happy to play knight c4 if you can, because the bishop pair is your main enemy in this position.
For sure.
All right, so that's all for this variation.
Okay.
That I wanted to show. And again, now I think we have a choice. Maybe you could practice games, or we could take a look at one more line.
Let's take a look at one more line.
Okay, so I am going to show you this one.
All right. Yeah, high level opening bullet analysis. Exactly. All of this is so I can win more games in bullet. Don't forget that, guys. Thanks, Grunfeld.
And again, I know it sounded funny, but I feel if you do channel your Irelia, that'll help you a lot.
Yeah, honestly. But I need to be more aggressive on Irelia too. Like, I just need to be more aggressive overall.
Yeah. Okay, so
Oh, this is not a Sicilian prism. I don't know if you're trolling or if you actually think
it's Sicilian.
This is not a Sicilian. This is this is the Grunfeld.
Yeah. So, which is more likely that you? Okay, I'll show you this one because this was one of the first time I beat a GM, and that's kind of cool.
Okay.
Delete this one. No, GM, I'm not playing bullet with you now. I'm teaching bullet now. Okay. D5. So, but I will mention the other one in passing, and that's the bishop f4 line.
Okay.
So the main line we're going to talk about is this one, which is called the Russian Variation, devised by Botvinnik and Corporation. But the other one is bishop f4, which is a bit more solid. Bishop g7, e3. Now, whenever white played bishop f4, what do you think is the downside of getting the bishop out that early?
The downside, I mean, the same downside as in the London, you get knight h5.
Knight h5, that's one thing. What could be the other one? What was bishop c1 doing?
It was defending. Okay, wait. The pawn on b2 does not matter.
It does matter.
It does matter. Okay.
It does matter. So you're playing the Grunfeld. The Grunfeld is about what? Chat, Nemo, everybody. What is the
It's
Grunfeld
about
about?
being aggressive.
And undermining the center. So how
Yeah.
can we undermine the center right here, right now?
Um.
Indeed, Chet is already saying Grunwald. Correct.
Grunwald, yeah. Okay. I mean, I would play. I don't know. I don't really like c5 here because it opens up the d file for white.
Don't suppress yourself. That's the move.
Okay. Okay.
So he takes c5 and queen a5.
All right.
So if takes, what's the punchline?
Knight takes d5.
Yep. And if your queen d5 takes,
Yep.
normally you wouldn't want to ever give up the bishop. But if the b takes, queen takes, you win the rook.
Mhm.
And you are winning.
I like this. For sure.
You do have to double check this one. I know this is winning. Just a little bit, very bit bishop e5. Let me check that for a sec. Wait. Takes. Here, bishop e5, queen b1, bishop
Okay.
takes a bishop e6.
Oh god, I'm gonna remember this, won't I?
You have to remember, I mean, this is well known to be great for black.
Okay.
So you can be confident that this is good.
Okay.
And f6, that bishop is bad. And you're just going to run down this king. And look at that garage sale over there. Terrible.
Yeah, actually a garage sale over there.
So this is like 100% guaranteed good for black. But, you know, as you're going to face bishop e5, you have to know that this is good for you. Here, and there's one more thing. Knight f, like bishop g7 here. If they play e3, you can play c5.
Okay.
But if they don't play e3, you cannot play c5 until that happens. Because if knight f3 here now takes, here takes, there's bishop d2.
Oh, I see. Wait, why was there no bishop? Oh, because e3 pawn was on e3. Okay.
Yeah, so the pawn would block this bishop off. And this is a very, very important point. So you would wait, e3, haha, c5, and then queen a5. And the other way of playing is knight e4. Whichever you like. I like knight e4 actually a bit more, which is a bit more aggressive. But it's your preference.
Okay, understood.
Anyways, so this was a little bit of a detour, but I felt that this was important.
Good to know that they can't try to London me in the Grunfeld.
No. No Londoning over here. Queen c4. So back to the Russian e4. So you can kind of tell that white made a commitment getting the queen out early. How can we bother that lady?
B6.
It's a way.
Bishop a6.
That's definitely a way of playing. But be cheap. Don't even waste the bishop power on the queen.
B5.
Yeah, you want to do that, but I mean, that's a pawn for free, so you can't just do it right now.
I mean, c6?
So you want to prepare with c6, b5?
Yeah, but that reminds me of a Catalan style position.
Yeah, and that's what we don't want, right?
Yeah, so a6, b5?
Yes. And anyone who did not know, this is called the Hungarian Variation.
Oh shit, Hungarian Variation. Let's go. Let's go.
Invented by some of the people in the 1970s and 80s. So my opponent, and it's actually funny because I was playing one of their seconds who invented it.
Oh,
so
really?
He
That's
played
really cool.
Yeah. e5, b5. I'm playing black. Queen b3, knight d7. So naturally, you don't want to jump around. You really just playing demolition man here.
Okay, so you just want to really undermine that center. Got it.
Yeah. You don't care about weaknesses. You take. You don't care. You just want to undermine it.
For sure.
Bishop e3. Here, now, you could go here. I didn't like that move. And I went here, because if I go here, my king would be kind of lonely. And you don't want your king to be lonely ever.
Yeah.
So knight f6, a4, and this is the moment you will take over. Oh, I don't want to give a comment yet.
Okay.
So white is trying to undermine my structure, which we don't really care about because we're attacking and we don't care. So if white can castle, we'll be uncomfortable because of all these pawn islands. So play aggressively. Chat, Nemo, this is your duty.
Be aggressive.
Be aggressive.
I mean, there's so many moves I can do to be aggressive. There's bishop b7. There's knight to g4. There's
What duty?
What duty? Bishop b7 definitely looks good.
So you do have to make sure that that pawn is defended at the moment on e6.
Oh, that's true. I forgot about that. Wow.
So what is white threatening? I think that's one of the most important things.
A takes b5 is the threat. Oh, what if? No. I was gonna say just b4.
I wanna hear. And what was the thought process?
Okay, so I was thinking b4 and then queen takes b4, and after that I was like, okay, what do we do now? Well, I mean, there's knight c6, which develops with a tempo, but it's a tempo for a pawn, so I don't know if that's always worth it. I have this thing where I very much struggle to give up pieces, like pawns and stuff.
Well, I think the Grunfeld will help you.
Okay, yeah. So I think I like b4 here.
Yeah. So when I studied for this game, I looked up some recommendation with the name of Peace Fiddler.
Okay, yeah, the Grunfeld expert, yes.
Yes. And so I said, hey, if Peace Fiddler says this is awesome, let's play this.
Okay. Yeah.
And you play like Peace Fiddler.
All right, let's go. Playing like Peter's Fiddler is a pretty big compliment.
Yeah. Knight c6, and you're doing the right thing. Unfortunately, now if we would have the chance, we would play c5, but there's just too much pressure on it. We can't play it. So I'm going to aim for piece play. Queen c4. And again, we're sort of going against time, like the 24 show. I don't even know if you call it that, like 24. I don't know. Anyways, how can we keep pressing white in this position?
Knight a5.
And if the queen goes, all right. So, let's try to devise some plans. I mean, knight a5 looks very tempting, but what will be our plan afterwards?
We will go back to b4 probably.
I mean, if it's a draw, then it's a draw. I mean, we're not gonna necessarily cry.
Yeah. Okay, so you're saying he won't play queen b4?
No, won't play queen b4. I mean, knight c6, and then what?
True. Okay, so knight a5. Well, let's say his queen goes somewhere else. Well, there's really only d3 to go to, right? Or there's also queen to a2 can go to.
Yeah, but both are legitimate, yes.
Okay, so if a2, for example, we can play rook to b8. There's also bishop to b7. Okay, sorry. If their queen 2 goes to a2, then we obviously don't play bishop b7. We play rook to b8.
Yeah.
But if he goes to d3, then I can consider playing bishop to b7.
Yeah. So that's what I did. I did exactly what you just said. Played knight a5, queen a2, rook b8. And you're probably not familiar with this grandmaster I played, but he likes pawns so badly and said, I'm gonna win your pawn. So he took on a6.
Okay.
Now we're just a move away from castling. We got to stop that ASAP.
Rook to knight to b3.
Mm-hmm. Bishop takes c8.
I think just queen takes c8.
Mm-hmm. Rook d1. Yep.
Mm.
So there's no knight b5, of course, because of rook b5,
Yeah,
and
for sure.
queen is gonna fall.
Mm-hmm.
So my opponent played queen b1, trying to stop me. So now we activate our Grunfeld powers.
Aggressive. I like Aurelia.
Yes, yes. Chat, what would you play here?
People like knight g4.
Knight g4, mm-hmm. That's one option.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see, knight g4 I would play win big or go broke. Exactly. That's what the Grunfeld is about. Going broke.
I like it. Maybe can also go. I don't like knight d5. I was thinking knight d5. I don't like knight d5.
What do you don't like about knight d5?
In knight d5, I think knight takes d5, e takes d5.
Okay.
I mean, actually, that's not that bad because I fixed my double pawns in the center of the board.
Yeah.
A4 is still hanging, so I like knight
Yeah.
d5 actually.
Yeah.
If he just castles, there's knight takes c3 and then knight to.
Also,
d2.
that's highly illegal.
Oh yeah, that's highly illegal. Oh my god, I'm so tired. Okay, yeah, true. He can't even castle, so knight to d5 is my move.
Yeah, yeah. So knight d5, perfect. My opponent said, "Ha, okay, queen e4. What are you going to do?" And now we show what our opponent was looking for.
Mm-hmm.
We're going to show our left jab to our dear grandmaster opponent.
Knight
Or
takes
right jab.
c3. Oh no, wait. You know what I really like? I really like knight to c5. It's like the first
Knight
thing.
c5?
It's like the first
Pretty
thing.
cool. So what's the idea?
It doesn't really have an. Oh, I mean, it's just knight takes c3, bishop takes c3 or knight takes c3, obviously. But I think it's a bit troll.
Yeah, it's a bit troll because I mean they still have two pieces, unfortunately.
Yeah, for sure. I feel like knight takes c3, queen c5, queen c4 maybe. But there's also queen d3 after that, so I'm not so sure.
Yeah, so don't forget you're still down a pawn. So every
true.
change and every simplification is not
worse
in
for me. Yeah.
Yeah.
Got it.
Yeah, chat, show us the way.
Yeah,
Come on.
what is the move, guys? What is the move? Knight b4 does look very interesting.
Wakey, chat. You can't sleep on an attack. Yeah, c5.
Okay, yeah, c5, of course. I want to open that. I don't know why I thought I had to play knight c5 for it. Just play c5.
Yeah,
Nice.
just go ahead c5 and you're just breaking it open. Knight d5, e takes d5, queen takes d5, e6, and I gave up another pawn, but I don't care. Your king is in the middle and I'm just gonna checkmate you.
For sure.
Queen e4, and now we're going to open up with c takes d4.
Yeah.
C takes a d4. Knight takes d4. Queen a5 check, because if you go bishop d2, you'll be just running into this huge attack.
Yep.
And it's game. King f1. And now you've got to just find the final touches. Just the final touches.
There's knight c5 who threatens rook takes b2, but he's got queen c2.
Good night, St. Louis Chess Club. Dobranoc, St. Louis Chess.
Dobranoc, St. Louis Chess Club. Take care.
What were you saying? Sorry.
I was looking at knight to c5.
Mm-hmm.
There is also rook to b4, but there's queen takes e6.
Mm-hmm.
There's bishop takes d4, because if bishop takes d4, then we just have knight d2, but after bishop takes d4, queen takes e6.
So one of the things that you really have to remember when you start playing the Grunfeld, you give up the g7 bishop when you absolutely must.
Okay, so we usually try not to give up the g7
Yes.
bishop. Got it.
Yeah.
Man, this opening is very wild. It's very different from everything I play.
Really?
Yeah. I mean, like, the Rouser is very positional. Sicilian is very positional. Like, I don't play fighting openings from the start, you know? Like, I'm an active player, but I play active in the middle game, not the opening. So that's really difficult for me.
It's really kind of... Didn't hear the last part.
It's like kind of difficult for me to be really aggressive in the opening because I usually like to set everything up. I mean, I know we're on move 25, but like it's been like 20 moves. That's like theory, you know. So,
oh, this is not theory, by the way.
Oh,
so,
okay, but like, yeah, I understand.
I get what you're going, but I think you should just treat it like you play the English as white. You just throw the pieces and you just attack your opponent as you normally would.
Wait. You get to attack in the English? I'm always the one attacking with black in the English.
No. In the English attack in the Sicilian.
Oh,
that's what
English attack in the Sicilian. I don't even play that line, but yes, I do understand what you mean.
I mean, I've seen you play some of those aggressive lines with white, but maybe I'm tripping.
I played in Najdorf with like h3, move 8 h3.
Yeah, but it's kind of the same thing. You still like
it's very similar for sure. Yeah, but no, but I definitely understand. Okay. I mean, I understand the key concepts of what to do. I do.
Yeah, I mean, once you get the drill in, it's not that demanding, I promise. So anyways, I played knight d4 here.
Okay.
And it does feel illogical because I'm down a couple of pawns, but the king is so uncomfortable on f1, it's just due time to cash in, I felt. King f1, and my opponent sacrificed the exchange because felt that it's already kind of lost, and it is, because after bishop d4, I can take here, and queen d4, I have rook d8, queen g4 is the only move, and after queen b6, that poor lady is overloaded.
Yeah, this looks really cool.
And it's game over.
Nice.
My opponent took on d4, bishop takes d4, bishop takes d4, and after
queen to a6.
Well, yeah, I could have done that, but I kind of realized that I have this mating idea.
True.
So even if he goes here, I have queen d1.
Yeah, you do. Okay.
So I took g3, I defend. I did the same thing that you just mentioned, and after king g2, rook d8.
Wait, never mind.
Go ahead. What?
I was gonna suggest rook takes b2.
Yeah, you still have to be a little careful. Maybe it's still winning still, but I was trying very clinical.
Yeah, for sure.
And just go queen d5 because I think this was like one of the first grandmasters I could beat, so I didn't want to mess it up.
Yeah, for sure. There's nothing wrong with just being like solid about it. And
yeah, and basically this was the end here. My opponent resigned because
nice. I mean, the bishop is just screwed. Yeah.
Yeah, and I just double up and e5. So yeah, this is all I wanted to show for this time.
Let's go. I like this.
You like it?
Definitely something new and exciting. Wild game for sure. Yeah, very wild game for sure.
Yeah. So I hope that'll be fun to try out, and definitely practice it because
I'm going to try it out right now.
Awesome.
Yeah.
All right.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, sure. and have a good stream.
Yeah, thank you. I really appreciate it. And I will contact you for another day on the London. But I know you're really busy, so just let me know whatever your availabilities are.
Sure, and also message me if
Yeah.
you have.
Yeah, thank you so
All right.
much. All
Bye
right.
bye.
Take
Peace.
Ignite. Have a great night. Take care. I know you had a long day with St. Louis Chess Club as well, so have a very good
It's
rest.
okay.
All right, bye.
Bye.
Thank you. Okay, I said take night. I said take Ignite. Pretty much take Ignite. Yo, guys, check out ChessWeeb, okay? Dobranoc, Suza. The lesson was really fun. He's an absolute Chad.